When you meet a Scorpio and you fall in love with a Scorpio, you are definitely going to think to yourself, this is destiny. It's going to feel so intense. It's going to feel like nothing you've ever experienced before. Why? Because they're going to grab you by the jugular, or at least your heart, and they are going to stuff you into your scuba gear so you can dive down to the depths of what love feels like. Okay, you guys, this is for all my crazy Scorpio freaks out there. You asked for it. You get to have it. Here we go. We're going in deep. Being in love with a Scorpio, especially at first, is like discovering a shipwreck filled with magical jewels from long ago and all kinds of treasures on the bottom of the ocean floor. It's like feeling, oh my God, nobody has ever been here before. This is so unique. This is so big. This is so different. This is so special. Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. Hopefully you guys know me. My name is Meredith. I'm your evolutionary astrologer, and I've just done probably way too many Scorpio videos. If you have not seen all my Scorpio videos, go get to know me over there first before you fall out of love with me here. Being involved with a Scorpio, trust me on this, is like experiencing something that you have never even imagined. Let me ask you, who here, and you better leave me a comment if this is you, who here has gone down to the bottom of the ocean floor, found a shipwreck, discovered it, saw all the artifacts and jewels, right? And came up from the shipwreck to talk about it. Anybody? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody? That's how magical dating a Scorpio can be. Don't worry, this video comes with a warning label, and I will be telling you how it's also so very not magical too. I wanted to try on that shipwreck metaphor because that truly does represent how intense, powerful the feeling is when you fall in love with a Scorpio and when a Scorpio falls in love with you. Let me ask you, have you fallen in love with a Scorpio, and has your Scorpio reciprocated that love? If that's you, let me know in the comments below. This video is not just for those people dating a Scorpio. This video is for anybody who is a Scorpio or has Scorpio planets. So if you've got your rising sign, your moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, or Jupiter, or if you have a lot of personal planets, that's the sun through Jupiter, in the 8th house, 3 or more, you are really, really Scorpionic. And also, every single person out there has Scorpio somewhere in their chart, and you can only know where you have Scorpio in your chart. And when I ask you, where do you have Scorpio in your chart, what I'm really asking you is, what house do you have Scorpio in? So you can only know that if you know your birth time. So tell me, even if you don't have any Scorpio planets, you do have a Scorpio house. So which house is that? Also, I have to tell you, if you don't know where your Scorpio is, you can go to my shop and buy an absolutely gorgeous natal chart. This is not what they look like. This is just one that I pulled off an old computer of mine. And you can read the chart and you can see, oh, Scorpio in the 2nd house. My charts are super easy to read. You can just go over to soulnavigation.com, click on the shop tab, and you can see all the options over there. And by the way, thank you to everybody who has purchased a chart or a fabulous report or a package. I appreciate it so, so much. And that is how you're keeping this channel alive. So I'm very, very grateful. Plus, I only sell things that I truly and deeply believe in. So I've researched the very best charts and reports for you, and the charts I have designed myself, and I absolutely love them. I make them super easy for you to read. So whether you've got a lot of Scorpio placements in your chart, whether you're involved with a Scorpio, or if you have none of that, you still have a house placement with Scorpio, this video is for everyone. So whatever house you have Scorpio in, it is in that arena, that playground, that landscape in your life, those subject matters in your life that are going to express themselves in a Scorpionic way. This is the arena in which you will operate like a Scorpio. So please listen to this video in two different ways. One, if you're involved with a Scorpio, this is what you can expect. And two, this is how you operate in that arena of your life. I'm going to tell you a little story. After my very first date with my husband, I came home and I checked out all of his planetary positions like a good, smart astrologer would do. And when I saw he had Mars in Scorpio, I was a little bit nervous. I did feel flush and I kind of blushed just looking at his chart. He wasn't even there. It was just me looking at his chart on my computer. I could feel the blush rising up to my cheeks. And I was thinking to myself, oh my God, I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle this. But I was also quite surprised because I did not see any Scorpio energy in his chart when I met him. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that exactly because he was wearing aviators and he did have kind of a cool factor. I didn't know it was going to be Mars. Honestly, I really did not feel the Scorpio in Mars energy that he has. It took me some time to really see it. And then he took me to his regionals tennis tournament where he was competing against the best players in the Pacific Northwest. So that's like the whole West Coast. That's like 7 different states. It was quite a competitive competition, quite cutthroat. I had never even watched a tennis tournament in my entire life. By the way, this was not that long ago. Anyways, when we got there, he invited me to come and watch his match. So I did. And what did I witness? I saw him completely obliterate and crush his opponent as if his opponent was an enemy in the battlefield. And I am not exaggerating. I mean, my husband was a lethal weapon. At the time, he was just my boyfriend. I had been dating him for about 5 months. I'm telling you, he could have killed his opponent. He could have killed the ball boy that was catching the balls with just a tennis ball. And I asked him, why weren't you a pitcher for a baseball team? Because I'm pretty sure he was hitting balls that were going about 100 miles an hour. He told me baseball was his first love. I'm not surprised. I have to say, I was shell-shocked. I actually had my jaw on the floor. I could not believe what I was seeing. I was wondering, where did this energy come from? And it was actually in that moment that I knew I could marry this man. I knew I was going to be very safe with this guy. As long as I wasn't his enemy, and as long as we were on the same team, I definitely want to be on his team. Needless to say, he won that tournament. And also needless to say, when we play cornhole, I make sure I'm on Joe's team. I got Joe. Mars and Scorpio comes in handy, and I don't have Mars and Scorpio. Wherever you have Scorpio in your chart, this is where you will probably refuse to lose. Kind of like an Aries, but more implosive and a lot more focused and a lot more intense internalized energy. So this is like a laser that can cut stone rather than a wrecking ball that can demolish a building. That's more like Aries energy. This is where you, my friend, are laser-like. Scorpio is also the place in your life where you refuse to be betrayed and where you are quite passionate and loyal, where you have a tremendous amount of stamina, like jaw-dropping, awe-inspiring perseverance and stamina. It's almost like you are going to refuse losing this part of your life. So what house do you have Scorpio in? This part of you does come with a massive ego filled with pride. You have to remember that Pluto and Mars are the rulers of Scorpio. And so there is massive desire to survive at all costs in this arena. This is also where I would say you are mega hot or ice cold or both. So if you're a Scorpio sun sign, you're walking around the world like this. How do you do it? Do you take your vitamins? How do you do you? Oh, yeah, right? But you are a very strong, powerful, passionate, and intense person. I'm sure you know that about yourself. This is also the place or the planet where you will undergo a very deep transformation in your life. Transformation usually occurs with a change that is challenging or forces you to become different. Scorpios kind of have to, they face the music when they're forced to. So tell me where this is, and can you relate to this part of your life undergoing a massive transformation? And this is if you're over the age of 28, like during your Saturn return and after. Scorpios have an energy that is extraordinarily magnetic, but it's an internal energy. They might be pursuing you, but I promise you, you probably don't know it. They have a way of luring you. They have mastered the art of subtlety. Scorpios do not take stupid risks. As a matter of fact, they don't even really take too many risks. They don't take big risks. They don't take dumb risks, and they don't take risks really in front of other people. So wherever you have Scorpio, you do not take big, open-hearted risks. This is where you are very calculated. This is where you are very cautious. This is where you are very protective. And this is where you are probably even secretive. This is where you keep secrets and how you keep secrets. If you're dating a Scorpio or involved with a Scorpio, I'm just going to tell you right now, they are not going to open up easily. Trust me on that one. If you, my sweet friend, have gotten your Scorpio to open up, I am telling you, they really, really trust you. And this is one of the biggest compliments a Scorpio can give you, by trusting you. This is how you know a Scorpio really likes you or even loves you. And if you're dating a Scorpio, just know they are here to face their fears, and through deep transformation, come out the other side. And they are the great healers also of the zodiac. We'll talk more about that in a minute. So what does Scorpio most need in a relationship? I would say a deep sexual experience, complete trust and loyalty, and a privacy, a sense of propriety, a place where my secrets are safe with you. Scorpios want you to be consumed by them. They are flattered by your obsession with them, but don't be too needy, clingy, or glommy. And if you can figure out how to do both those things, yeah, let me pull a rabbit out of my hat. If you can tell me how to do that, please let me know. How do I become obsessed with you without being too needy, clingy, or glommy? I think you need to put space and mystery into the rhythm of the obsession. So obsession Mondays and Wednesdays, and then I forget about you Tuesdays or Thursdays. I don't know, but I'm just telling you, this is the truth. Scorpio needs to know that you are there in having full consumption of them. And then they need to also feel, I guess, for whatever reason, I think it's their relationship to pain, they need to feel like you're also out of arm's reach. Scorpios create mystery, they're attracted to mystery, and mystery is a seduction for them. It's their kryptonite. Don't make it too obvious how you feel about them, because they will actually start to lose respect for you if you're too obvious or too overt. However, they do want to know that you're loyal to them and that you think about them all the time. Please know, I understand I'm speaking in contradiction. So just let them know in a way that's not too desperate, too big, too massive, too open, too much, too loud, right? The very best way you can get a Scorpio to just melt into you is to do everything very slowly. I want you to draw it out. Be like a sexy sloth. Move very, very slowly. Even if you're going in for a hug, let's practice slow motion melt hug. They don't like the rush. They don't appreciate the frantic. They don't like panic. They don't like panic attacks. They don't like histrionic, hysterical, emotional outbursts. Do everything slow, mysteriously cool, and calculated. Don't make big, giant gestures and movements. And they're not going to be with a person who cannot hold their own power or can't hold a little bit of power over them. That is what the number one Number one, sexiest thing for a Scorpio is power. So what's your relationship to power? You cannot be meek and mild and be happily with a Scorpio. They will eat you alive. Now, why do they like this? Because they're that way. They will keep their power and they will let you know it. They will let you know you can't dominate them. You can't beat them. You can't win them. Why? Because they won't participate if you can. Remember, they don't take silly risks. If they're going to lose, they're not going to play. If a Scorpio broke up with you or just dumped you, I'll tell you why those reasons might have been. You need this part of the video because they're not going to tell you. Most likely, they're not going to tell you. And they might even spoon feed you lies just to make you feel bad. You might not ever get the truth. While I know Scorpio really needs a fantastic sexual experience with their partner, and they are so sexual. And by the way, there are many, many celibate Scorpios out there because Scorpio is not going to dilute their needs and just be with anybody sexually. They are going to be extraordinarily picky about who they're going to be with. And if they cannot be with the one they want to be with, they kind of are self-punishing and they will choose instead to be with no one. And that's why there's a lot of celibate Scorpios. They're kind of all or nothing type of people. In truth, and this is really, really truthful, and all you Scorpios out there, please make a comment if you agree with this, okay? And this is hard for other people to truly get, believe, and understand about Scorpio. In truth, Scorpio is looking for a very profound, magical, mystical, mysterious merging of the souls at a sexual level. The sex has to be multi-dimensional and it has to cross into sort of this mystical, soulful terrain in order for Scorpio to want to merge with you deeply and profoundly and over a long period of time. They're looking for that kind of unicorn, the one that is mysterious and magnetic and holds her own power or his own power when having a sexual experience, can also merge at this soulful level, this soul level, where they have the keys to the karmic contract and I drink you and you drink me in and it's all consuming and it becomes just one. Yeah, they want that kind of unicorn. And if you're not that, they're going to cut you loose. So how are they going to do that? Well, they're going to go from hot molten lava, intense laser focus on you, to ice cold. Yeah, ice baby. So for all the intense passion and deep feelings that they had for you, if they leave you, they will have you beyond baffled how they could be cold as ice. Oh, that's a song too. So look and see where Scorpio is in your chart. And this is where you can go cold. This is where you can be all or nothing. This is where you can cut things off if you have to. And this is also where you will not be controlled in your life. One little caveat here, because I just did a Scorpio reading. She asked me, why do I not feel like a Scorpio? Well, I looked at her chart and she has Scorpio sun with the moon, Venus, and Neptune there. So it's all these sweet and lovely planets. And so she doesn't have the dark side of Scorpio, but she still was self-sabotaging. She still was in painful relationships that broke her heart and that left her, but she could not relate to the negativity of Scorpio. So if you feel like you are a Scorpio, but you can't relate to all of this, I really suggest you get a reading with either myself or one of my brilliant team members. You can just go to soulnavigation.com and click on book a reading, and you can see everyone on my team and their prices and their offerings and our schedules as well. So the house matters and the planets matter. And so you really do need to look at your chart, because we don't just do sun sign astrology. There's over 40,000 different things that are in your chart that are the keys to your soul's blueprint. Scorpios have a really odd and strange relationship to happiness. If you got dumped by a Scorpio, what might have happened? Honestly, you might have been just too happy of a person to tell you the truth. Scorpios don't really trust gregarious happiness in another person. They're secretly wondering to themselves, what is wrong with you that you are so happy? I just don't get it. Scorpios can be very, very attached to the things that caused them pain. In my Scorpio rising video, I go into why they are so attached to pain. So I really recommend you go watch that if you are interested in the truth about Scorpios. They will become quite suspicious on why you're so happy, like what is really going on. Scorpios are the detective, and they're always focused on what you're not showing them, what is underneath the surface. They actually don't believe face value. So if you're really gregarious and happy, they want to know why. And if they're not the one or the cause that's making you happy, now they are skeptical and they don't trust that. Remember, at the soul level, Scorpios are really highly focused on the parts of life that are difficult, challenging, and painful because they are the great transformers. And if you're too happy, they are probably going to give you something to be a little less happy about. They're going to remind you that not all of life is happy, so they want to even the score. This is a sign that really is misery loves company. You cannot be more happy than I am. And as a true Scorpio, I'm not that happy. Unless I have a lot of Sagittarius in my chart. And they can become quite vindictive and mean just to get you off your happiness pedestal. Forgive me, Scorpios, for saying all of this, but I want you to look at the Scorpio parts of your chart and ask yourself if you have been unnecessarily unhappy, or if you've even been vindictive and a little bit mean, or a lot of it mean in those arenas in your life at some point. Really get honest with yourself. How does that Scorpionic part of you resonate with the rest of the world? Is it healthy and in check? Is it really optimistic and buoyant? Or kind of not? If you're dating a Scorpio and you are a happy, vibrant, sunny personality, you may feel them trying to shore up the power because your sunny disposition might feel like a takeaway to their more depressive, sorrowful, and melancholy ways. So what can they do? They can sort of put you in your place in a passive aggressive way by ignoring you, by timing out on you, by making you feel not desired, by rolling over and going straight to sleep with no good nights, with no tuck-ins. They can make you feel jealous, and they can do some really kind of harsh, passive-aggressive tricks. Don't worry, we're getting to the good stuff soon, so stick with me. It's not all negative, I promise, but I do want you to understand the shadow side of Scorpio so you can recognize it and see it and know how to prepare yourself for it and how to interact with it. As a matter of fact, the best thing you can do is acknowledge it and move about your day and be unruffled. But they have those passive aggressive tactics, if you will, so you won't feel so gregariously happy anymore. It's purposeful. And now we can be on even footing. So wherever you have Scorpio in your chart, which is your life, this is where you're a little bit self-sabotaging. If your Scorpio left you, the very best thing you can do is go MIA, literally fall off the grid, never to be found again. The next time they'll read about you on social media is when they see your obituary. Get off all social media, go into the vortex. Do not return their random phone call when they call you out of the blue. Scorpios do not change their mind very often or very easily. And if they do return, it might be just to have you one more time to leave again, just to double check their decision. Oh, yeah, I made the right decision. I don't want to be with them. Now, for the good part. What is so wonderful about loving a Scorpio? Well, it is wonderful, especially if you're dealing with a healthy Scorpio. So I pray that the Scorpio you're involved with and the Scorpio parts of you have transformed and have leveled up to a higher octave. It is actually a mystical and magical karmic experience, that is for sure. And nobody will understand you more deeply and better than your Scorpio. You will most likely have such a loyal and deeply, deeply committed partner. Also, Most Scorpios are really good with money and money management and saving their money, and they make very good providers for themselves. And if they love you too, they will be a great provider for you as well. You will not find a better person who will walk through your crises with you, holding your hand, being your anchor when you most need it, than a Scorpio. And if you really want to feel good about yourself, you should watch my Scorpio moon video. Scorpios will have your back. They will care about you. And if they love you, I don't know anybody who will save you, rescue you, help you, support you more boldly than a Scorpio. Scorpios will go into a burning house to save your dying body. And Scorpios are the ones that are actually better with you when you're in crisis than any other sign. I mean, some signs don't want to deal with your crises, but Scorpio does. They want to deal with all your muck and murk and trauma and drama and gore and grit and vomit. Yeah, they don't mind. Truthfully, they don't mind. Scorpio is the sign that you can tell your deepest secrets to, too. And most likely, they will take your secrets to the grave. They really and truly are not afraid of the tough and ugly times. And they are so resourceful. They can help you reach your successes by helping you overcome your challenges. They are the healers. They are also the sign that might be the best at holding your hand while you are sick and suffering. And they may even be the last one standing. These are the people that are not afraid to take care of you when your body is leaving the earth plane and you are taking your last breath. They're not the abandoners. So let's talk about if you want to dump your Scorpio. This does come with a warning label, and I actually don't even recommend what I'm about to tell you. It's my personal opinion that you break up with your Scorpio quickly and honestly, and you get out of there like a bat running out of hell. As fast as possible, you need to change your phone number and you need to never return their call again. And I say this because their revenge factor in life is larger than life, and they will get great joy out of hurting you or humiliating you if you have betrayed them by leaving them, or if you have just decided that you're out. Whatever you do, just do not let yourself be found in a public place with your jilted Scorpio, because they will make you suffer. Again, if you've got all sweet placements with your Scorpio and you just can't relate, this is just Scorpionic energy in general, but it really does matter where your Scorpio is and what planets you have Scorpio in. So there are kind of two quick ways that I can give you in this video that I really can't recommend. Believe me, I am highly aware of all the contradiction I am saying, but people are complex and Scorpios are filled with contradiction, as a lot of the signs are. Before you break up with your Scorpio, you need to make sure you have all the things that you want from their home, all your things that you want to take back from their home, and make sure that you changed your personal PIN number to all of your accounts online, and make sure if you share a bank account, you take out your rightful amount of money, because you'll never see that money again if you have hurt them. Of course, I'm suggesting just take your portion. But the first way you could do this is go into explicit detail on why you just no longer enjoy them as a lover, how they're just not very good, and go into great detail on the whys, all the problems. And then tell them how your former lover or your last lover was just so much better, and you felt that deep, soulful connection with that person, and you just don't have it with them. And then to put the nail in the coffin, just tell them that you were faking it for these last 3 months. And then I guess if you need one more nail, tell them you have a really bad crush that's just consuming you and you're obsessed with your coworker. And maybe you don't even want to say coworker, because they might go and find that person. And the second fastest way to get rid of your Scorpio is to either cheat on them or just tell them that you have. They cannot handle this, and you are going to hurt them so badly. I do want you to know that you will be part of their pain and agony and suffering for the rest of their life. If they really love you, they most likely won't be able to take you back, especially if you have cheated on them. And if you have cheated on them with somebody who is important to them, then they really can't take you back, because it's just too contaminated, too toxic. And they have too much will and too much ego and too much pride. in themselves. And I say ego in a positive way with that one. The ego is the will to survive life. They can't survive life knowing that. This would just be so awful. I do want you to know this is like a knife in the heart. Again, I don't really recommend these things, but this is the fastest way to get rid of a Scorpio. And this is going to be so awful. And my suggestion is do not get involved with a Scorpio in the first place if you feel like it just may not work in the long run. Okay. Now, my third suggestion, which is actually my real suggestion and what I think most people could really do, and that is make it be their idea, not yours. So do a bunch of little things that make them get highly annoyed with you and want to leave you, because it's far more safer for them to leave you than you to leave them. Make them want to leave you. Be highly, highly annoying on a daily basis. Now, I want you to realize that Scorpios can handle a lot of suffering. So you might need to level up on the annoyances and make them greater and greater and greater and greater until it just becomes unbearable. These people are prepared at birth to handle agonizing difficulties and challenges. And remember, they want to transform and heal. So they have to get the message that this one cannot be transformed. Are you guys wondering what my CC is? Well, this is my daughter's athletic team. So I'm being a good cheer mom. I hope you guys are wonderful. I also want to say that I'm finishing up my dating series. It's not just a dating series, but if you want to understand your partner, your lover more deeply, I recommend 2 packages from my store, my Lovers package and my Soulmates package. They are both so good. You will absolutely love them. In the Lovers package, you get to see how you affect your partner and how your partner affects you. Plus, you also get their gorgeous natal chart and yours and 2 deep dive natal reports. And in the Soulmates package, you get to see the alchemy of your combined energy together. And it is your composite chart and your composite report. It is so good. You can just go click the shop tab at soulnavigation.com and you can see all the choices. But I just want to say, Scorpios, I love you. I think you are amazing. I think the world is a better place for having healthy Scorpios. And I just want to suggest for you to look for the happiness in life. I promise it's out there. Attach to it and let the joy be part of your transformational journey. From my home in Seattle to wherever you are at in the world, I absolutely adore having you here learning astrology with me. Until next time, bye for now.